Yes, we're giving this a 32. 32.
532, you're assigned to evangelism case in Athens. Can you copy the special time?
Yeah, of course.
Report your 23.
We're gonna 28 truck McGarry.
Hello and welcome to the WMDTech headquarters. I'm Jake Berryman, Director of Sales for WMDTech. I'm so glad you could join us today as we unveil the products and services we've been working on for the past year. We pride ourselves on making world-class solutions accessible to everyone, from state and local bomb technicians to Tier 1 international assets. We accomplish this by bringing as much technology and manufacturing to our headquarters as possible. This allows us to provide adaptable and custom solutions for small unit level projects all the way to federal service level projects and everything in between. For example, if you want a virtual 3-day electronics course catered to your team's knowledge, we're happy to make it happen. Maybe you have a custom tool idea. We can use our in-house technology and engineers to bring you working prototypes all the way to final issue products. Additionally, we work directly with customers, whether it's in-house products or leveraging our distributors and vendors to give you the best prices. We work as a one-stop shop to provide whatever your mission requires. Let's check in with our CEO, Robert Brown, to see how our all-new Robotic Precision Aim system can change the game.
When I first started the company in 2007, we had to rely heavily on outside manufacturing capabilities for any products we wanted to develop. We quickly learned, however, why anything with an EOD crab on it seemed to cost so much more. On a mission to develop better solutions, we knew that we first had to overcome these hurdles. We started by growing our team to include engineers, computer scientists, and subject matter experts who were constantly creating solutions for various challenges. In order to keep up with our endless brainstorming and ideating, we expanded our production capabilities to include injection molding, pourable casting, and even additive manufacturing. These capabilities have allowed us to manufacture anything from high-quantity ordnance items to small prototype metal parts. Our most complex item produced to date, the Robotic Precision Aim, has been a culmination of all of these processes. After many years of prototyping and testing, we finally arrived at a production-ready model. The RPA is a revolutionary system that was developed to provide Joint Service EOD with a robotic precision aim capability. The system increases operator effectiveness by automating the process of precision aim, while affording the EOD technician the safety of remaining uprange. The RPA, which is capable of firing with pinpoint accuracy using any number of disruptors and X-ray sources, provides pinpoint alignment and accuracy to support the render-safe mission. By using the RPA, EOD technicians are equipped to handle the most difficult of precision aim scenarios. Exposure and stay time has become obsolete for the render-safe of nuclear devices. Chemical contamination hazards become negligible for the render-safe of chemical dispersion devices, and personnel maintain a safe separation throughout the precision aim sequence. We recently began taking pre-orders for the first run of systems, which will start shipping out in Q2 of this year. Contact our sales team at sales@wmdtech.com to get in on the order list. Back to you, Jake.
Thanks, Rob. Now let's bounce over to our multimedia expert, Caleb Curtis, to unveil our brand new online training platform.
WMDTech has been working hard to make its training more accessible through an online training platform, WMDTech Online. This will be a subscription-based platform that provides access to a library of various courses. I'm going to take you through the platform now so you can experience the exciting potential of online training. So here we are inside WMDTech Online. This right here is the landing page. And you'll notice up here that I'm currently a logged in user. If you're not logged in, you'll see something slightly different, but it'll essentially look the same. Now, a lot of this content is not super relevant to what I want to cover today, so we'll scroll back up here. And you'll notice that we have these master tracks. Master tracks are the way that we have organized the content within the platform. So you see here that we have lockpicking, 3D printing, electronics, precision aim, etc. And if we go up to the menu here under training, we can access those master tracks here as well. Now you'll notice over here that some of the content has not yet been released, and that's because this content will be drip fed throughout the year as the content becomes available. So I'll go ahead and I'll click on Master Tracks, and we're taken to this directory page here. I'll click on Electronics Design and Defeat. And you'll notice that within the master track, content is broken up into these individual courses. So this one here has 17 courses within the Electronics Design and Defeat master track. And the reason we decided to organize it like this is because you'll see here that there's 43 hours of total content within this master track. So by breaking it up like this, it's easier to access specific content or topics, and it's a lot easier to track your progress. So over here on the left-hand side, you'll see the certification test. And this little asterisk here says 17 of 17 course completion required before you take the test. Now, assuming you pass the test, you'll gain access to a certificate of completion for the Electronics Design and Defeat Master Track. Now, each individual course also has its own certificate of completion, but in order to get the certificate for this Master Track, you will need to be certified here. Now down here we have this Electronics Design and Defeat Supply Kit. So each Master Track has its own set of supplementals for its courses over here. Now this kit, for example, would have breadboards, wires, components, everything you need to train alongside the instructor for these courses. So you can go ahead and add it to your cart or view it in the store. So I'll go ahead and we'll access the Soldering Mastery course here. And we're taken to the Soldering Mastery course page. So you can see here that I have the option to message the instructor, Skip Curtis. I can view my course completion here. You can see that I have this one in progress. If we scroll down, we have these course materials here, so that'll contain any PDFs or images, any supplementals for this training. And if we scroll down, you'll see that content is then broken up into these chapters. So I can go ahead and I can access content individually here, but I'll go ahead and scroll up and just continue where I left off. So now we're within the actual content of the course. So we can take a look at the progress bar here on the left and see that I've completed the introduction up to chapter 4, Soldering Practical. If I wanted to, I could go back and revisit any of these topics. But in this case, I would just go ahead and watch this video to the end, and then I could continue on to chapter 5, on through the end of the course, including this quiz at the end, the Soldering Mastery exam. So there's one more thing I want to show you on the platform, and that is the user dashboard up here in the main menu. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you what mine looks like real quick. So you can see that it defaults to this activity feed here. So within the platform, you have the option to connect with other users. You can see that right now there's obviously nobody online, but if I go to my connections here on the left, I can manage anybody that I'm connected to. And then back here on the feed, you'll notice that anybody that I'm connected to, their activity is going to show up on this feed. So I can interact with any of that content however I'd like to, or I can go ahead and update my status, upload documents, anything like that. And back here on the left, you can see I have the option to message anybody within the platform. That includes instructors, and that can be accessed up here as well. Those certificates that I mentioned earlier can be accessed here. You can see that I have my 3D printing certificate, so I'll click on that to show you what that looks like. And then from here I can download, print, whatever I want to do with that. I showed you the connections. Here are my documents. So I showed you those documents on the training course pages. I could download those, manage them here, or upload any of my own files. And then we've got profile and account settings as well. We're excited to announce that our platform will be available this spring. So head over to WMDTech.com to get in on the email list so you don't miss any of the online training updates. Thank you.
Thanks, Caleb. Now we're going to hear from our training director, Skip Curtis, about some of the new products and kits we've been working on.
3D printing is a new tool changing the way bomb techs and investigators respond to real-world incidents and training. There are many affordable 3D printers on the market that can provide instant access to a wide variety of EOD tools. It is important, however, to choose the right printer and to understand how to get the most out of it. Our team at WMDTech is made up of EOD professionals that have used 3D printers specifically for EOD use. Our engineering team also uses a number of different printers, from FDM to MetalX. With this expertise, we can help you overcome many of the hurdles to bring additive manufacturing to your agency. But having the right printer is only half the battle. In traveling and talking to different squads, most BOM technicians want to know how to design their own parts, so they don't have to rely on anyone else for their designs. If you can draw a straight line, a circle, and a square, you can design anything you need. This is the foundation of our 3D additive manufacturing design course. We bring one of our engineers to your location or teach online to show you how to design and create your own tools and parts by the end of the first day. At first glance, 3D printing can seem hard to justify for EOD teams, but a closer look proves this can't be farther from the truth. Printing tools and parts for much cheaper than they can be purchased is only the beginning. The EOD community has only scratched the surface of possible inventions, many of which can be achieved with nothing but a 3D printer. We can show you example after example of these projects. If you have any questions about 3D printers or design, please visit our website or give the training division a call. We are here to help you work through any problems that you may have. Thank you.
As you can see, we have some very exciting projects we're working on. Before you go, let me show you some upgrades we can provide to a classic product. The XTK upgrade system allows you to place valuable, time-saving upgrade accessories into your existing XTK grid aim system. The new kit includes black boards, which capture the green laser energy more efficiently and allow you to place your aim point more accurately and from a safer distance. Our adapter set allows you to use the most current models of the Golden Engineering X-ray sources with your existing source locator plate. Grid board feet and robot handles are more efficient and make it possible to reduce your time on target by placing your grid board robotically without having to use duct tape or other supplementals which might disturb the suspect package. We've also added other accessories such as weighted bags and a verification laser to further enhance the usability of your system. The XTK upgrade kit costs $7.99 and is available now. Thanks for spending some time with us and discovering just a few of the projects we're working on. If you have any questions or would like a quotation, please reach out to our team and we're happy to assist you. Thank you and stay safe out there. Hey everybody, welcome in to the live Q&A session here. We're gonna wait another couple of seconds, maybe a minute or two, and see if we get some people to matriculate over from the video. Hope you guys enjoyed that and got some useful information on some of the cool stuff we're working on. So again, we're gonna wait here another minute or two as I can see people heading into the chat.
Well done, guys.
We will go live.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think with all of this quarantine stuff, it's really gave us a lot of opportunity to kind of hone some of our video skills.
You must have trickled in.
Cool, so it looks like a good amount of you guys have trickled in, so we'll get going here. We'll try and keep this pretty brief, but just want to talk a little bit more and kind of expand on what you guys saw in the video there, answer a couple questions. We have already had a couple come through, so if you do have a question, you can drop it in the chat here, send it through on the email. Hopefully we get that in time, and we'll answer that question for you. One big thing that we didn't talk about in that live presentation was Just some of our partners. I know some of you guys are in the room here now with us, and you know, we've always worked closely with really everybody in the space, and especially some of our prime partners. Shouts out to ADS. How you guys doing? But you know, we try to work with everybody individually, direct, whatever it takes to get the customer what they need. And so I want to kind of present and just briefly hit on some of those products and services we offer that I'm not always sure our customers know about. So we do have partners for DR with the Carestream panels, and we do have partners for the CR with the Lido system. So we can do scanners, guys. ScanX, the Scouts, the plates. Obviously, we worked many years with MSPT and the Nexray system, so your nanos, your minis, the tablet solutions, kittings, mosaic systems, pretty much anything to do with scanners. We have a partner, and we have all of those capabilities to provide those accessories for you guys. Same comes with the TBT. I know a lot of you guys are getting ready to go to the FBI's TBT course. So, you know, we really tried to get down to brass tacks and put together a TBT kit that met all of the specs. I'm sure you guys have heard, you know, the stories of guys showing up and not having the right tools or all the tools, or, you know, we got with our partners and our customers that we work with a lot that teach those courses and said, hey, how can we help just offer a kit that guys can just buy, show up to the course ready to go, one less thing to worry about. So, and same with WASP kits to go with the TBT or separately. Easy hooks, bed of nails.
Those dual easy hooks are actually pretty slick.
Yes.
I just got back from Denmark, and we were using it for one of the classes out there, and those dual easy hooks, one head, you connect it to the wire, you've got continuity, tells you right there and then. I mean, it was just fast. I am a fan.
Definitely, there's some pros and cons to both, and we're happy to share that. And I think that's one thing that we can offer is you know, multiple looks at the stuff that's available out there, and give our honest opinion from these guys that literally train all over the world, and different categories. Maybe the federal side's looking at things a little bit different than your state and local guys. So depending on the product, we can give you our you know, our best take on that. We do have disruptor stuff, the ops packs. That's a great tool, the Carbon Fire Disruptor, as well as the Titan. We can get you guys the Titans, and those are a great tool. And again, we see different communities using different tools and kind of what they're going for. Is it fast and light? Is it accuracy? You know, we've ran through and we've used these tools extensively. So to be able to kind of offer some insight on that with our cadre is pretty awesome. Same with Golden Engineering stuff, any of the X-rays, supporting the older systems that you have, and making sure you have adapters that work with tools like the Grid Aim system. If you don't want to purchase a new Golden X-ray, or if you do, we can supply that. And then again with the Alfred tools, Cherry tools, shape charges, some of our in-house charges, or maybe it's the 3D printer class and you guys want to make your own charges and experiment. That's all stuff we can support. So again, kind of just driving that point, whatever you guys need, we can get that. And tying back in with our vendor partners and our prime partners, you know, if you need to go TLS, absolutely, we'll get with our partners and we can get it funded however you want to do it, direct, sole source, TLS, out to bid, whatever. You know, we can meet the mission on that. So kind of moving on from that, and one other thing we want to expand on is the training. You know, obviously we're very, very excited about this online platform. We're trying to take this way beyond just, hey, hop on and let's do a Zoom training and we'll kill you with a PowerPoint all day. You know, we want you to be able to go in. There's a ton of social aspects that we didn't touch on, you know, and it's just for this community. And we really think there's some ways to build this out and make this a valuable tool. And again, reaching out to vendor partners, prime partners, you know, this is absolutely something that we don't want to keep it proprietary. We want to make this a community tool. So we already have some of our partners like Leidos with the Exposed CR here hosting their product trainings, their how-tos on that website. And I think the dream and the mission over time is let's have this be a platform where guys can come in, you know, whether they have a subscription or not, that'll be hosted as free content for them to walk through how to set up your system, all those fundamentals. Right. Maybe you want to do you know, an elevator pitch or a sales pitch on the product so that guys can kind of discover all the features of that. That's something that we can do on that platform too. So it's not just for our training and our proprietary products. We want to bring everybody inside of this. We want to give everybody a voice. There's a forum on there where you can share documents and content. Eventually we want to get into some bonus stuff. Can we do some podcasts? Can we interview some of the experts in the industry and host those interviews on there? Articles, forum posts, again, a community aspect above and beyond, and just make it a spot where you can go really learn more about your job as a bomb tech or as a counterterrorism operator, and just soak up everything that's out there and kind of be up to date. So with that being said, on the online platform, we've already had some questions. What does this mean for our in-person training? So I'm gonna hop over to Rob and let him talk a little bit about that and kind of what we envision the future of in-person training being.
So we've always been, I guess, really big into the going to the people's customers' locations to do the training there, and we don't see that going away. Actually, quite the opposite. The online training is pretty nice, but it doesn't replace a lot of the hands-on stuff that you get to do when when we go to your location. We have a nice little MTT trailer. I mean, it's fully equipped, and Skip's driven that thing across the country a few times to set up for events. One of the courses we don't really talk about a whole lot that's actually been really popular, special events. How do you handle these large venues? We took some insight from Philadelphia, some of the other large cities, and saw how they're handling the special events, combined it together and gave everybody some options. That's something that MTT trailer really comes in handy, because we can literally roll out hundreds of mock victims or people within just a few minutes and have a pretty in-depth scenario set up pretty quickly. The 3D printing is another one. We could do a lot of that live or online. But sometimes it's just nice to have that person there. You inevitably get the spaghetti bowl, the spaghetti with your prints, and so what did we do wrong? What can we do better? And it's this online will never replace live training, but it does do quite a bit of cover a lot of topics that normally we don't even hit upon on the live training. So there's some definite benefits to that.
And I think one of the things that we see a lot is showing up, especially you state and local teams out there. There's always guys coming in and out of the squad, and one of the hardest things to really capture the value and the time that you're investing in that 4 or 5 day training class is having guys that are on the same level of knowledge.
Right.
So you have the 2 new guys, and then you have the master bomb techs, and you're trying to do the live training and cater to both, and it's not always as smooth. Something like this is awesome because you could take 4 or 5 courses on the subscription platform, go through the whole contents, get your certifications, so everybody's at a certain speed, and we can come in for 5 days and spend a day live on each topic, and that's where you can get that kind of in-person tips and tricks and the takeaways and sort of the practicals, and you're just getting a tremendous value out of that training week instead of spending a lot of time on the lowest common denominator in the course. So definitely, again, something that I think can be built in to any platform. Last thing I'll mention on the training side in general is definitely reach out to us. If you go to the page, we wanted to make this transparent from the beginning. You can see the pricing tiers, you can kind of see what's being offered, but we wanted to make this approachable and affordable for everybody, for every squad. So we started kind of the entry tier there, something that really even the smallest two-man bomb squad could work into their budget and get a ton of value out of, and found ways to scale that up for bigger squads and guys that might want to make a bigger investment. That's stuff that I'm happy to talk to you guys about personally. So email me, call me, whatever, or Rob, and we'll kind of put some clarifications on that. So moving on from that, guys, just another touch again on the proprietary stuff that we do have. Obviously, we love working with our partners and being a one-stop shop for you, but we do have obviously the grid aims, and there's upgrade components to that, brand new stuff, V2 boards. So if you guys have seen the original classic green boards that are out there in the field, we have now the black boards, and like I said in the presentation there, those really help with your ability to lays in from a distance. It kind of defeats the point if you have to get one guy right up on top of the board to find the square.
Constantly squinting and trying to see where the laser's
it's blowing
hitting.
over in the wind. You're starting over. I mean, precision aim has to be precise, and that was a great update by Sandia. So and other pieces and parts, then we can just, if you already have a system, we can ship you just the components to kind of bring you up to speed on that, or if you don't, we can just get you a fresh kit with everything you need.
Also on the upgrades, the V2 board, we've been working on that very closely with Sandia. The V2 boards, in case you hadn't seen, take a look at XTK. If you have the latest version XTK, you go to pick a dot, and now there's these new dots at the very end there. You've got the A1 all the way up to, I think it's A42, and then you have C1 out to C42 or 43.
And the footprint.
Yeah, it's much more concentrated tungsten dots. That was kind of their goal. That way you're not blowing, you're not ending up with 3 or 2 dots on your logos panel. You actually have a high concentration of tungsten dots available. So that's brand spanking new. We've been working closely with labs to get that done. Matter of fact, we're going through certification now with the labs, so that should be finalized here this week.
We have renderings, we have stuff we can share with you guys, and for a lot of this stuff, it's either out now or available for pre-order. We'll get you in the queue. Obviously, grants and stuff take time, so we can start that conversation anytime. So kind of coming off of that, the last thing I wanted to hit on was some of our capabilities. Again, both for our vendors and partners and for our customers. Rob, you want to talk a little bit about kind of what we brought in-house this year?
Yeah, it was a while ago. One of our young engineers had came to me about 3D printers, and I like typical, I guess, older guys, I thought, great, so we can go ahead and do squids and octopuses and things like that. Like, oh, great, Actually turned out to be a pretty nice little step. We started out with a very inexpensive Lulz bot. We found that we could actually prototype some of the parts for some of the things that we're doing with that. Once we were satisfied with the part, then we go off to traditional machining and have them cut it out of metal or plastic or something like that. Then we realized that we needed fixtures. We needed we needed some other things. So we bought a laser cutter, and that thing's been great. We cut all kinds of stuff with that laser cutter. And then we needed to buy an epoxy printer. So the high resolution of these new V2 boards, traditional silkscreen just wouldn't cut it. So we're using this machine we actually bought out of Japan to be able to do it. It's a fancy inkjet printer that does epoxy prints, and so it uses a UV lamp to cure it. And it's pretty insane what some of these things can do. But as we find these challenges with manufacturing, we've been adding these capabilities to our inventory, so we could do a lot more in-house. And it's actually made some of these things possible. I mean, to do a V2 board, boy, it was pretty ugly. I mean, you're talking about cutting a lot of tungsten dots. You're talking about nobody was willing to do the silkscreen. It was ridiculous, some of the things we had to go through. But we're kind of in a niche market here.
Yeah. And just having, like I said, having the opportunity to build stuff in-house and take ideas and scale it. Rob jokes a lot about the EOD crab price tag, and it's true.
Right.
But you got to keep in mind it's a small community.
We're not building for the millions. We're building for the hundreds of customers.
It could be 50 units or 100 units, and so bringing it down to the in-house level allows us to kind of build it and make it reasonable for that mission and that budget that you guys are under. So
right, and we use industry standard CAD programs, Altium for electrical CAD, SolidWorks for mechanical CAD. We do what's the other one? AutoCAD. Oh, and then one of the ones that we actually teach in the 3D print class, Fusion 360. So it's a subset of AutoCAD. So when you actually design in Fusion 360, which I highly recommend, you can actually share your files with somebody else. And even if you were going to go get them cut out of metal, you can actually share those files with a machine shop, and they can go ahead and cut those parts out for you. So it's a tremendous benefit to be able to start learning how to design in some of these tools.
So kind of with that being said, guys, there's a little bit more information on where we're at as as a company and what we're trying to provide to you. Let's jump over to some questions. It looks like we got 4 or 5 that have come in already. The first question: when does your online platform officially start? So we're right there, guys. Within the next couple of weeks, this will go live. We can start the conversation anytime on getting you guys some licenses for it. One of the other questions that we had, not necessarily on the board, but we had sort of during our travels and sharing this idea as we were developing it was, obviously these are some very sensitive and in some cases, borderline classified information pieces that are getting shared and trained here, stuff we don't want getting into the wrong hands. So the last piece here that we're polishing up is an integration with ID.me. Some of you guys might know it as Troop ID. And it's really an industry standard to vet who's coming onto the platform, and how long they remain eligible to be on that platform. And it's used by the VA, it's used by several government agencies, and it's really going to protect this sensitive information and who can qualify to register. So we're not even actually going to be in control of that. We have a third party vetting individually everyone that's coming onto this platform. And then on the security side, we've made quite the investment, making sure that the website is pretty bulletproof in terms of being infiltrated in any way. So that's the last part that we're wrapping up. And again, we're talking about really any time now we can start negotiating the licenses and getting you guys set up for that, and we'll move into it. So within the next couple of weeks, we do anticipate techs on and taking classes. Next question here is, what content is going to be available when the site goes live? Rob, you want to take that?
So electronics is one of our, probably quite a few of you have attended our IBTI electronics training, and we thought, well, that's a natural fit. Electronics is something you could do remotely. You have a few parts in your hand there, you watch the videos, you follow along and you do it, and so that was a natural fit. So we have that one, probably that's actually on the site. I think we have about 20 hours of that already pre-recorded on there. And we're going to go ahead and continue to do that every week. We're going to add more, kind of like the Netflix, but it's just going to be us and other folks that we bring in. There was some, the 3D print would be another great one. It doesn't have to be us teaching it. Could be, we have a few engineers here that are pretty familiar with the Fusion 360, and so they can go ahead and walk you through that, prerequisites, stuff like that. So
yeah. And I think that's, just to build off Rob's point there, and my point earlier on trying to make this a community thing, we absolutely are both interested in subject matter experts for certain topics and open this up to our partners. If they feel they have a course worth teaching, let's put on a master class and let's add it. As far as our content, like Rob said, sort of that Netflix style, we want to matriculate information in over a period of time. And the earlier you get in, the more robust it's going to be built. But we're going to hit 3D printing, lock picking, precision aim, setting up your tools, electronics. And we really took this down to base layers. So starting with soldering and how to use a meter. All of it built out, and I think by the end of this year, we're going to be over 100 hours of training content, plus your tests, your platform, all the bonus content we talked about. So over time, you'll never have something not new to train on. There'll always be something new every week or bi-weekly that we're adding new modules to the platform. And we've made quite an investment in our studio and our space and our setup to make sure that we can continue to add content there. So, next question is pricing per user or per team? Will prices be prorated for smaller teams? I kind of hit on this a little bit earlier. We've really tried to make the entry level for this affordable for any squad. And it's a price for an entire year of multiple training courses of what it would be for us to come out even for a 3-day class. So it should be, a reasonably easy sell to command. And this is something absolutely we want to, for you Army and Air Force guys, Navy guys out there, we would love to get this platform on, as a group thing. And absolutely talk with the command and say, hey, this is what you want to train. Great, we'll take your SMEs, we'll take our SMEs. We can go a lot of ways with this. But
somebody asked if it could be accessible on deployment.
Yeah, you can access it on deployment because of the encryption measures. And we had somebody ask, can it be accessed on deployment? And the answer is yes, or overseas. So yeah, what I want to avoid and what we want to avoid when we started this was, and we, bless you guys, we know a lot of guys will come out of pocket on their own to buy their own licenses and stuff. If you feel like you're in a very special circumstance, absolutely give us a call. We'll work with you. But I really want this to be a department thing. I hate to see guys paying out of pocket. So we'll work with those of you that are under extreme circumstance. But outside of that, let's talk. Let's get your whole department set up, or your group set up, or your battalion set up, or however that breaks down, and we can go from there. Are the supplemental kits required to train, and can we purchase the consumables on our own?
Right. So we try to make it easy for everybody. You know, sometimes easy is great. I do it all the time. You know, I can click one button and get what I need there, or I could go out and shop for everything else. So we don't have a preference. You know, if you want to get your own items, I believe the course requirements are going to be on the site, so you can see what consumables are required. You know, feel free to get your own. We're also going to have kits on there, but one of the benefits, and we were talking about this, so why the different tiers of training, the store credits. So the store doesn't actually just have to be the supplementals. Over the years, we've realized that people are constantly challenged with dealing with grants. You know, the states or the counties hold on to the funds until they're about to expire, and then they hit you with this, you know, hey, you need to spend this, you know, by the end of this week, otherwise we're going to lose it. And, you know, you don't want to be responsible for losing grants that they've been keeping in their bank account for the past couple of years.
Right.
So the store is actually great because you do one of these packages, you get your online training, that's good for the year, and it's not a calendar year, it's you buy it today, what is it, February 5th, next February 5th, that's when the renewal would be.
Right.
So, you know, we don't
It's no hard
cheat
contract
you.
stuff. We're not trying
Right.
to play any games. The
Right.
whole thing is upfront, very transparent, and we're willing to work with you guys to meet the expectations. So.
But the store is not limited to just the supply kits. You need a new X-ray. Okay, well you can go ahead and get an X-ray off of there, and so it could be a nice, easy way to deal with
Right.
some of these grant issues. You know, you do one of the other tiered packages, and you know you get your disruptor, you get your X-ray, you get your scanner, bomb suits, you know, you name it. You know, so if you wanted to bank some of that, that's something we were looking at as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, again, for our customers and for our prime partners, this is a great tool because I know a lot of you guys run up against, we have money and we got to spend it now.
Right.
Okay, well, just a small portion, again, relatively speaking, goes for your year membership. We can sell you a membership at any price point and give you back the difference in a credit to purchase whatever materials you want. Even if that's through a prime, you know, our prime partners and stuff we don't even necessarily have in the store. If you've got something in mind, you got to spend money now, well, let's get you on, let's get you that credit because it doesn't expire with us. So you can roll that over, you can save it up over the course of time. If it's training funds, then you are meeting the standard, you are purchasing a training platform, but you're gonna have the ability to capture some products to match and marry with that service. So we can get creative there, I think, and really help some of you guys that get in those weird grant situations for sure. Couple more trickling in here. What is the price point for the RPA? So we're definitely kind of on a soft launch with this. What we'd like to see is, and just being very candid with you guys, let's get a couple of units out. We've quite robustly tested it here. We want to get some units out, you know, and I guess get that beta program, get the feedback, make sure everything's worked out. Once we're at that point, there's a couple of options. That system can be bolted to your existing robot, even if it's an old one. That turret can just be bolted to your robot. We can make some custom adapters for you guys. That's an easy day. So if you want the robot, if you don't want the robot, if you want the main system, but to quit beating around the bush and answer the question, we'd like to see that unit shipping at 40 to 50,000, depending on the setup and what's all included in it. And we think that that's a very approachable price point when you're talking about robots. You guys know how much some of those robots cost. So to add that capability, we think that's a very strong addition to any truck.
Yeah, we are working with some of the other robot manufacturers as well, so that way they can be integrated in their platform. One of them is FLIR. You know, FLIR has just acquired, what was it? They did the, and I can't think of it right now, but the Talon. So they did get awarded the medium, what is it? The medium platform for the military. I think Army was first, and I think Air Force just signed on. So that medium platform, you know, there's a possibility that you could have this little bump out sticking out of the rear of the robot, and that basically takes care of your precision aim stuff. You know, and people have looked at that too and said, well, that's a 357 and that's a XR150. It can handle up to the, I would say, just shy of the XRS4. All of the, you know, the 200, the 150, the XRS3 can be bolted on there. The Teledyne can be bolted onto there. And then the disruptor, the reason why we picked that 357, I know it seems like a weird one, the whole reason for the 12 gauge, because we started down that road, the 12 gauge, and the whole reason for that 12 gauge, the original pan, was to have the right amount of diameter and the right amount of length to hold enough volume of water to be able to reliably general disrupt a package. That was the whole reason for the 12 gauge. It wasn't that it was more penetrating power, more speed, none of that stuff. It was designed to be a general disrupt tool. So trying to shoehorn a shotgun to a precision instrument, we started down that path and we found that it just wasn't quite getting it. On that video, you saw us lasing the terminal of a 9-volt battery with that 357 disruptor. We were able to snipe a single terminal off of a 9-volt battery out of a dumpster. I mean, we were doing this for one of our Operation Red Rocks. Single terminal off that 9-volt battery out of a dumpster, and we were knocking out that precision aim quicker than you could do it with a guy in a bomb suit. I mean, it was crazy fast, 100% robotic, and crazy accurate. As far as penetration, the rounds that we're using, they're pretty sweet little rounds.
They'll do
oh
it.
yeah.
And
but
I
we could
think
do a 223.
the biggest thing is
Yeah.
time on target.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to say what's the number one benefit, it's time on target. I mean, essentially, you can now run that entire mission without ever going down to the package.
100% robotic.
And so 40, 50 grand, like I said, adding that capability and being 100% robotic. And just even our skill set, getting out in the field and practicing with it, that first time, when you're coming out, it's kind of, all right, how are we going to place the scanner and working with different robots. And as you kind of gain your skill set and train on that, just like anything else, you're like, wow, we just run a scenario in 15 minutes without ever going down range.
Yeah.
So
it was amazing how fast it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have a pre-packaged 3D printer option? Yes. We are a distributor for Raised 3D.
Right.
As well as a couple others, but that's really, I think, price point wise, where you guys like to be at.
Yeah. I mean, we have some pretty nice lineup of different printers in-house we use for prototyping and production. I mean, we've got the FDMs like the Rays. The Rays are actually pretty good little workhorses. We use those quite a bit for, especially some of the charges. Those Rays printers just work. They're great, they're reliable, they're highly accurate. There's a huge assortment of filaments they can do.
It's the best value system out there because
definitely.
you can change the tips on those to do, and for those
Some
of
of
you
the
that are
filament
new to
reinforced.
it, there's so many different types of filaments, and there's
Or fiber
restrictions
reinforced,
with some of the stuff you're finding on Amazon or something like that. So at an approachable price point, getting super high def, multiple filaments, and then a pretty rock solid warranty. That's who we've partnered with on it, and we do have just printer, printer with some live training, obviously printer with the subscription training, and that can be rolled into some of those tiers that we talked about earlier. So to answer the question, yes, we do have a lot of different 3D printer options ready to rock.
Now, some of the other ones that we have for production, I mean, we have the FDMs. We also have some Markforged printers. One of them, this little bitty guy, it looks like an Apple product. It's pretty slick looking. That little guy was about 16 grand because it can do continuous fiber reinforcement, which is neat. You can actually embed carbon fiber, you can embed Kevlar, you can do high strength, high temperature fiberglass. That little guy was neat, but it's not something that a squad would probably want to buy. It's expensive filament, it's a pricey printer. That Raise is just I would say it's darn near a production level type printer. So, that's by far been one of our favorites. That's why we have it. That's why we market it, because it's just a beast. It's a workhorse.
Looks like one of the last ones here. Do you have a UK distributor? We have worked quite extensively with teams in the UK. I don't believe we have a UK distributor that's based there. We do have our prime partners like ADS here in the States that have an international team.
Scana, we do work
and we
with
do
them
have
quite a bit.
vendor partners that are based in the UK that we could sell through. Scana Inc. comes to mind. But that's if you're in the UK, any of our partners or customers there in the UK watching, we can definitely find a solution to get something over. Whether it needs to be a UK business or a US business, we can find a solution for you guys. So just reach out. We're doing a lot with ScopeX in France. I'm not sure if they do any UK sales, but we'll figure out a solution for you guys. So looks like that's most of the questions, guys. We had some others in email. I'll get back to you guys some of those special circumstances individually.
Well, one was the courses certifications.
Oh, course certifications, yeah.
So we're currently working with, I guess it's arguably one of the best football teams in the Northwest United States, Boise State University. Go Broncos, right? So they're working with us. Actually, we're getting ready to sign papers here, but we're looking to do CE credits basically to start with for these courses. So you start going through the courses, you qualify for CE credits through Boise State University. Eventually, we're going to start rolling on to them being full accredited courses. So that's going to take a little bit more
Get
time.
some college credits for it. Yeah.
But what we really want to do too is start working with some of the industry out there. IBTI, we'd love to work with them, put their stamp on the certificates. They have their own content. That's something that I think would be very beneficial to the folks out there. NABSCAB, would they be willing to go ahead and put their stamp on some of the certificates? Could we do different tiered programs like your basic badge, your senior badge, your master badge? Can some of these prerequisites qualify for a NABSCAB badging system? So we've had quite a few conversations with quite a few folks about this, and the short answer is they're currently certified by us. We've been doing electronics training since, before 2007. Officially through WMDTech 2007, but we're also looking to have them stamped with Boise State University for
National
CEs.
Sheriff's Association is another
Yep.
one. We're talking with those guys. So we within this year here, I think by the time you guys are finishing your first classes, we're going to have a certification body. We have a lot of options.
Right.
Boise State, again, we're already at the signing point with those guys. It's just integrating to meet the standard to get you guys college credits for the classes as
Right.
well. But there will be, again, with the transparency and our goal to make this a community thing, it will be a third party authenticated and certified for all the certificates and training that you guys get.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? Looks like
We saw earlier, I think Ian had posted that FLIR was awarded $32 million for their UAV program, which is pretty interesting. There's some big players out there. So FLIR, not just doing thermals anymore. They're kind of like a Safariland, buying up a bunch of smaller companies and really putting some major horsepower behind some of these initiatives.
some great solutions too.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
So, right on, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for the Q&A. We're going to send out probably one more email here and capture this whole thing for everybody that didn't get to join live. And then any questions you guys ponder, partners, primes, customers, whatever we can do for you guys, reach out and let's put together solutions. Let's meet the mission and do it together. So we're going to sign out here, and feel free to reach out anytime. So on behalf of me, I'm Jake Berryman, Director of Sales,
Robert
CEO
Brown.
Robert Brown, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for joining.